Good evening. The Yahoos today were on at Randwick headquarters, and it was Epsom Day, of course, and we saw the babies for the first time in the gym crack and the Breeders' Plate, and the track played very fair. You could lead on the fence, or you could come right down the outside. Just very quickly, during the week we had the meeting at Canterbury, and oh my God, it's an air raid. It's an air raid. Someone's setting off the siren. The Japs are bombing us here. Anyway, the meeting at the good old tall ship fireworks are on. Now, Canterbury during the week, the track was good. The rail was 2 metres out. Look, there were runners that didn't play diabolically fence, but it was, if you were on the fence, it was most certainly a bit of a start there. But as I say, it wasn't as savage as we have seen it at Canterbury. There were winners that came from behind, and there wasn't much to say about the meeting, except there were a couple of races where figures for bookmakers were hopeless, and a lot of very, very well-backed runners won at Canterbury, which has been the norm well, for a good while now. Very hard to win bookmaking at Canterbury at the moment. They seem to find plenty of winners, the Grumble and Grunters. Now, back to today, the track was sent out dead. They put a bit of irrigation on it yesterday, as we all heard, and it wasn't until after race 3 they upgraded it from a dead 4 to a good 3. As I said, the rail was 3 metres out. There was just a nice steady westerly blowing before the first, which gradually eased during the day, which didn't have any effect on any of the results. And in the first race, as I say, we saw the babies in the gym crack for the fillies go around, and we first and second around the bend ran first and second. It led on the fence, the blowing favourite. Bookies reached for it. We put it up at $2.80 to Serco, and it was taken straight to the lead. Brilliant Brendan Della was aboard, and the winner, Alpha Miss, came across from a wide alley and sat on its outside, and they fought it out all the way down the straight, with Alpha Miss getting the bob in near the line to win by 0.2 of a length. In this race, on the screen, they said there was about 104.8, and that was about the case. There were quite a few runners back in the first, but it did take the $4.20 to Suko towards the end of betting. It still did start $4, opening up $2. We put it up to $2.60 chance, 13 to 8 the field, and it got out to $4.20 back into 4. But the winner was extremely well backed, as much as $10. Plenty of it early in betting, Alpha Miss given, and it only started $7.50, so it wasn't missed. And in the second race, well, it was missed. Gay, I Own the Lead, had 3 runners in this race, and her runner, which was the outside of the 3, got the cash. Gay produced the favourite, Wanjinda, who's now going for a spell. It played up a bit in the barrier when it was put in. It hung out during the race, and as I say, is going to the paddock. And her other runner, Ragged Keys, it also played up a bit in the barrier, which is unlike Gay's horses. Missed the kick a bit. It pulled up shin sore, and it's also going for a spell. The winner, Law, who drew barrier 2, it was able to find the lead after they'd gone a couple of furlongs, find the lead on the fence, and hold on and win from the runner that sucked up behind it from barrier 1, was directly behind it all the way, Mohave, and it would have been a great result for the captains, although the winner was also a good result for the captains. It went from $8 out to 15, the winner. They said there was 107.4 on the screen, and there was a little bit less in the marketplace, but positive figures. And there were quite a few runners backed in this race. At one stage, they'd kill you for the $2.50 about the favourite. We put it up at $2.40 chance Wajinda. It got out to $2.70, back into about $2.50 taken, but got back out to start $2.70. As I say, the winner blew $8 out to 15. Who was the firmer in this race? Well, number 1 was $10 into about $8, and they took the $5.50, number 5, Gibberlines. And what else was backed? Nothing much else was backed in this race. As I say, the winner led, which turned out to be the winning factor. There was quite a bit of interference in this race. There were 3 runners, numbers 1, 2, and also number 12, Sure and Fast. They copped fairly heavy prats at around about the 600-metre mark. Race 3, they said there was 102.3 in the screen, a few bit less in the marketplace, only about 99. And Honoris got the cash. It's at the one out one position, and when they topped the rise, it had moved up to the leaders. Gay had the leader in the race, Hippopus. Winning Glory was on its outside. Honoris moved up. The favourite came off its back, Masked Marvel, and when they topped the rise, it did look for a couple of strides as if the favourite, excuse me, this Booty Blue, I've already had 2 or 3 of these, and I'm going to drink another bucket full of it. It is enormous. I'll tell you what I put Pooty into today too. I told him it was unbeatable. I'll tell you in a minute. Anyway, in this race, as I say, the favourite, Masked Marvel, it moved up to Honoris Heart. They topped the rise. Looked like it was going to get past it for a couple of strides, but then all the way down to the line, the Honoris was able to hold on and beat the favourite by about a head. And the other runner that was started equal second favourite in the race, Collini, it settled down in last position today, Collini. The rider saying that it had a colic attack, and he'd been putting a good bit of work into it, getting it ready for a campaign down in Melbourne, and he might have put too much into it, and it mightn't have helped it today. It might have been a bit worn out, but anyway, the colic wouldn't have helped. It would have been handy knowing that, but we didn't. As much as $4.60. Well, these were the flux in this race where there was only 99%. $2.80 out to $2.60 out to $3.10 given. It started $3 Masked Marvel by the same token, but at one stage it was into as little as $2.60. The Collini, $4.80, you wouldn't see it given, $4 out to $4.80 into about $3.80 at the finish of betting. Winning Glory went from 13 to 12 to 1 chance out to $16 given about Winning Glory, started 14. Cantonese was 26 out to 31. The winner, a $4.20 chance out to $4.60, back into $3.80, extremely well backed. Hippopus, 17 out to 19, and the stablemate, Tequila, $10 out to $12. We bet losing figures, and it was hard to win on that race. In race 4, this is the one I tipped Pooty. I told him it wouldn't be getting beat, Guelph. I said, the others can cut across the middle and they still won't beat it. And Karen, it looked like he was going to get a trail early in the piece. when he was on the back of She's Bella, but She's Bella went forward and it crossed and found the lead. He most probably had 10 billion on this, 10 billion to 4 billion on. There better be something there. But he didn't. It went straight to the lead, She's Bella, and Clever Karen, he was trapped 3 wide, but they never went hard all the way. It led, as I say, She's Bella. On its outside was the second pick, Arabian Gold, who went fairly poorly, as it's the Japs again, as the betting drift suggested. Guelph was 3 wide outside Arabian Gold, and when they topped the rise, this good filly, she was too strong, and the runner that finished up running second, beaten 1.8 lengths, came from last. Sensibility, but had a soft run back there. The winner sat 3 wide and was far too good. I did tell him this has got to fall over to get beat. We let you lay the 5 to 2 on. $1.40 went up, and it started $1.30. 5 to 2 on to 3 to 1 on, and well, these were the flux. $1.40 out into $1.30, $10 out to $16 given about Bound for Earth, back into 14. Arabian Gold, $4 out to $6.50. She's Bella, 26 out to 31. 41 out to 71, Sensibility, and Refer was 201 out to 301, and only about 98% there. It was no good, and if you let them lay the 5 to 2 on, I don't know where Pooty got his 10 bill on. Jesus, they're getting closer. They're coming up. Don't know where he got the 10, but anyway. Here's to you, Pooty. I told you to win. He eats he loves tomato sauce. Now, race 6. Here we saw a fairly good effort by the equal favourite or starting favourite. Might have started second favourite. Yes, it did. They started 3:30 favourite. Thunder Fantasy, who got trapped 3 wide outside the leaders all the way, and $3.40 the winner, Rock Hero. We did bookies gave $3.50 a pair. 5 to 2 the field we gave, and when the gates opened, of course, Rock Hero bounded in the air, lost a length and a half, 2 lengths, but then it got quickly along the fence without using a lot of petrol into 3 back on the fence. Leading on the fence was Liberty's Choice, who from barrier 1, I own the lead. It led with, from barrier 1, with the special 2 from barrier 3 directly behind it, and it was able to slide up Rock Hero from barrier 2 and get on the back of the special 2, and when they turned for home, it was able to get inside the special 2 and eventually around the heels of the leader, Liberty's Choice, and nab it on the line to beat it by 0.2 of a length. Rock Hero, if it comes out of the barrier, of course, it might have been up outside the leader, and it most probably would have won easily, or would have won by a bigger margin than it did, of course. The second pick in the race, or the starting favourite actually, Thunder Fantasy, he got into he drew barrier 10, and unfortunately, sitting outside Liberty's Choice was Equator. The other I own the lead horse isn't Gaia Beauty, but she does own the lead. Tommy handed it over to her. Batten down the hatches, the judge said. Don't give up, boys. Keep on fighting. Now, Equator was there, and trapped 3 wide outside the pair was Thunder Fantasy. It stuck on well to finish up running 5th, beaten 2.5 lengths, but did have a fairly hard run. So don't dismiss it. Now, race 7, well, here we saw a great performance by this was the Epsom, of course, and we saw a very, very good performance here by the winner Bobbin. This was the run of the day. It wasn't entitled to win after it got the check around about the 800 metre mark. It lost its momentum. It went back to more or less last position, was pulled wide in the straight, and it came down the outside to beat the favourite by a nose right on the line. By the same token, when they hit the line in this race, the winner by far the best run, which is very easy to work out once you watch the replay. But when they hit the line here, there was only between the first 6 runners, there was only the 1 length margin, and so it was a very, very close finish. It had its chance streamer. It sat in about 5th position, given a charm run by Horseman Bowman, and as I say, after losing all of its momentum about the 800 metre and get going again, this winner Bobbin wasn't entitled to run on as well as it did, coming widest in the straight. So its performance was very, very good. On the screen, they said there was 108, and the two differences really in the betting here, there was only about 105 in the marketplace. Well, the funny thing was, one of the fluctuations with the winner, I think the best luck the winner was only $6. Well, there was a good deal of $7 about Bobbin given. Jesus Christ, it's getting closer here. Oh my God! Batten down the hatches, and a rocket just flew through the window. Bobbin, plenty of $7 given about Bobbin. There's the Germans with us, well, there's the Germans and the Japs. And as much as plenty of $7 given about Bobbin. Best luck only $6, and geez, the boys have contained them, and that was about all you'd say there. Apparently, there were a couple of other runners that were held up in the run, but the winner by far the best run. Race 8, the sprint, and this was won by Arenosa, sensationally backed Arenosa. On the screen, they said there was 108.2, about 3 less in the marketplace, only about 105, and this grey horse was able to stick its nose out right on the line and beat the stablemate Dystopia, and the other Waller runner, it wasn't far away. It finished up running 5th. She's Clean, and it was a very good run by Arenosa. Coming when they were at the 600 metre mark, Arenosa, it was second last, and on its outside was She's Clean, the stablemate. And when they turned for home, Arenosa had got in front of She's Clean. It was trying to get push famous Seamus out of the way, who drew the extreme outside alley. And when he did get in between runners, shouldering clear, you could see the grey coming, and also its stablemate coming through the high diddle, She's Clean, and it was, as I say, it ran 5th and was only beaten. But when they crossed the line, there were 6 runners that hit the line in this race, and there was only 0.6 of a length between them. Running second, as repeating myself, the stablemate Dystopia, as much as $30 was given on the fence about it, and only $21 was the best luck, with 30 on the fence, mile of 26. a 40-to-1 chance who didn't have a price in this race would have been an enormous result for the captain's Night Exemplar. It finished up running. It finished up running only it was sixth in the race, but was only beaten 0.6 of a length. Very close finish, but for the Grumble and Grunters, who took all of the $4.20, a mile of $4.20, and all the $4 and the $3.80. It was into. It never went less than. I think the SP might be only $3.40, Aranosa. It was $3.60 on my board when they jumped, and it was also $3.70 on the fence. But extremely well backed. The punters really labelled it. The stablemate, she's clean. She got out in the market from about a $7.50 chance out to $11, and there weren't that many other runners backed. They took $10 about Hidden Warrior, which you wouldn't see, started $9, but we're on the line. Unfortunately for the captains, the favourite was able to put its I suppose out and get the cash. And then we got to the last race, the Metrop, and the visitor from Melbourne, Seville, was given a perfect run by Horseman Bowman. He sat directly behind the I Own the Lead horse, Julianus, ridden by terrific Tommy Berry. And when they topped the rise, he was able to, there was a mile of room when Julianus got away from the fence. He was able to get inside the leader, Julianus, and beat it by a half a length when they got down to the line. It ran third after sitting in the 1-1 position, only beaten 0.8 of a length, Sneaker Peak. And Einstein, who came from midfield, was fourth, only 0.9 of a length away. Down the outside, after being held up in the straight, the steward said badly held up, Moriarty. It was held up most certainly, but not badly held up. It was only beaten 0.9 of a length, and running fifth in the race, or sixth actually, was the favourite Prince Cherie, who was very well backed. You wouldn't see it, but as much as $4 given on the fence, and only started $3.10. Very hard to get. And in this race, or going back to what happened in the race, I've already said that the winner got the charm run inside the leader, Julianus. If it had to go around a horse, it most probably doesn't win. And it's very easy now, of course, but on the fence was Prince Cherie from barrier 2 and Moriarty from barrier 1. And when they turned for home, or just before the turn, instead of persevering or waiting to see if a rails run did come, which, as I said, eventually did happen, where you could have driven at least 2 or 3 or 4 horses up on the inside, their riders eased off the fence, and Prince Cherie was slightly held up as well. Maybe if they would have stayed where they were and followed the winner through, they would have got even inside the winner, and one of those two runners might have got the cash. The favourite I'm talking about, Prince Cherie, and also Moriarty, which I did say. But so run this race again, and you would obviously get quite a few different results. They said there was 108.3 on the screen. There was a good 7% less in the marketplace. These were the flux. Moraine went from 17 out to 21. Now, Moriarty was $5.50 out to $8 back into 6. You could get 6 at the finish, and they returned to $5.50. Seville was $8.50 out to 11 back into 10. Julianus, well, I was $7 and laying it. I put up $5 and got it out to 7 towards the finish, laid it all the way through the betting. I would have loved to have got some more out of it, especially for the win, not for the place. The visitor from down Melbourne, who was badly checked, Ibencio, when unfortunately Lucripidus broke down, it was $12 out to 15 back into 14. Prince Cherie was $4 into $3. Einstein, 15 out to 21 back into 19. I'm imposing 26 out to 41 Lucripidus, 15 out to 17 back into 16, 100 out to 100 or 200 St. Encosta, Kingdoms, 14 dollars out to 19, 30 out to 40 Dana's Best, and 100 out to 200 Planet Purple. Around, a lot less than 108.3 they said on the screen, only about 101. That was the meeting. There was a good roll up there. Plenty of tickets written today at Randwick, but unfortunately for the captains, there were, every time we wrote a ticket, most of them were on the winners. A lot of very, very well-backed runners won, and it was extremely hard to win there. And I would go as far as saying that the captains finished on the wrong side of the ledger. Now, Pooty, I did tip you that golf. I told you it was unbeatable, and I don't want any Pooty blue. You've got to send what you sent down last time. Plenty of section, because I know you've had a stack on it somewhere. You've backed it with the KGB probably. Good evening.